Greetings, families, parents, and guardians. Welcome to the Read by Grade 3 informational session for families. My name is Ms. Hernandez, and I'm the District Early Literacy Coach. The purpose of this presentation is to provide communication around the Read by Grade 3 law and to support families. Our objectives today is to have you understand and learn about the Read by Grade 3 law, to understand your role as a parent, guardian, family member with regard to the Read by Grade 3 law, and to gain resources to support your child at home. You may be wondering what the third grade reading law is. In an effort to boost reading achievement, lawmakers back in 2016 passed the third grade reading law. The purpose of the law was to ensure that students are reading at or above grade level by the end of third grade. Beginning in 2019-2020 school year, the law stated that a child may be retained in third grade if he or she is one or more grade levels behind in reading at the end of third grade. But due to COVID, this was suspended and the law did not take effect. This school year, during the 2020-2021 school year, the law is set to go into effect. Here's a short video about the third grade reading law.
Reading is the gateway to new ideas and knowledge. It empowers children to stretch their imaginations, explore their world, and discover all of its exciting possibilities. Building literacy skills early in life prepares children for success. Reading at grade level by the end of third grade gives children the foundational skills they need to excel in all subjects, from fourth grade all the way through high school. When students enter fourth grade as strong readers, they're better prepared to learn, graduate, and succeed in life. Currently, only 44% of third grade students in Michigan are proficient readers, according to the statewide English Language Arts Assessment. That's why in 2016, Michigan passed a comprehensive reading law to support increased literacy achievement by the end of third grade. Known as Read by Grade 3, it focuses on identifying struggling readers early and giving them the additional specialized supports they need to read on grade level by the end of third grade. As part of Read by Grade 3, schools assess students' reading skills throughout the year, every year, to ensure students are on the path to becoming strong readers. Teachers receive literacy-focused professional development. To provide additional supports in school and at home for struggling readers, teachers work closely with parents to create individual reading improvement plans. Students who are still struggling in reading at the end of third grade are retained and receive an extra year of intensive support so they enter fourth grade ready for success. We want to prepare all of our children to excel in reading, and schools can't do it alone. As parents, you have an important role to play in helping your children become strong readers. Start early, sing and talk with your child as often as possible, and read with them at least 20 minutes each day. Ask your child questions about what they read, and encourage them to practice reading and writing in daily life. Ask your child's teacher or a librarian at school or at the public library for help picking out books that are of interest to your child. Learning to read takes time and practice. We can all work together as a community to provide every child the support they need to become strong readers and ensure a bright future for all Michigan students.
So as you can see in that video, it's really important that we're starting early with our children and making sure that they are reading 20 minutes a day and that you really stay in contact with your child's teacher to help move your child along in kindergarten, first grade, and in second grade so that by third grade, they are reading on grade level. One other thing from the video that was really interesting and very startling is that 44% of third graders in the state of Michigan, only 44% were proficient in reading. And that's not just in River Rouge, that is across the state of Michigan. So that is the real purpose behind the law, that startling data of only 44% of our Michigan third grade students reading at proficiency levels at the end of third grade. So that's why that law was created. So here are the components of the law. So there's 5 major components, and they all work together to support student achievement. So at the center of the graphic is the core reading instruction. So the law requires that students do have access to core reading instruction and that it's research aligned instruction. Now at STEM, your child's core ELA instruction in kindergarten through 2nd grade is Super Kids, and in 3rd grade, it's Open Up. At Anvisker, the core reading instruction for kindergarten through 3rd graders is Reading Mastery and Literacy Footprints. The next components are assessment, reading improvement plans and interventions, professional learning and coaching, and retention, promotion, good cause exemptions. We'll review those on the upcoming slides. So assessment. So within the first 30 days of school, every kindergarten through 3rd grade student is administered a district reading assessment. So in River Rouge, we use the NWEA and DIBELS. With reading improvement plans and interventions, students who score below grade level expectations in these district assessments will be given an individual reading improvement plan. And in short, we call that an IRIP. Professional learning and coaching. So your child's teacher will receive support in evidence-based effective practices in teaching reading and writing, supporting all learners to grow as readers and writers. And the final component of the law is retention, promotion, and good cause exemptions. River Rouge School District will follow the guidelines established by the Michigan Department of Education. So what is an IRIP? So an individual reading improvement plan is created for any kindergarten through 3rd grade student who exhibits a reading deficiency. So this plan is created within 30 days of identifying the deficiency, and the plan is going to highlight reading interventions to support your child at home. So the plan is a collaboration between yourself, your child's teacher, the principal, and other pertinent school personnel. And part of your child's IRIP must include a read at home plan. And so that portion of the plan is going to provide you with training or tips on how to work with your child at home. But remember, you can also always have the option of reaching out to your child's teacher for specific strategies that your child might need assistance with. Your child must participate in extended learning opportunities. So that might include something like before or after school programs or tutoring. So this is what an IRIP looks like. So up in the top of the first page is going to be your demographics, so your child's name, their birthday, their grade level. And then right at the bottom, you're going to notice 2 grids. So on the left, it's going to be the, you'll see the information for the NWEA and the DIBELS for the fall, winter, and spring scores. And then you'll see at the very bottom, right where this arrow is, where your child should be scoring at those given times during the year. So your child is assessed in the fall, in the winter, and in the spring. And if they don't meet those state guidelines of where a child should be at that grade level, then your child would be receiving an IRIP. The second page is for parents and for family contact information. And this should also be signed by your child and returned to your child's teacher or the school's main office. Over in this section is going to show you the team responsibilities. So what the teachers in schools is agreeing to and what is obligated to do, what parents will do, and what students will do. And on the final page, you'll find the at-home reading plan. So this is the area that gives you ideas on how to help your child at home. And again, remember that you can reach out to your child's teacher for more strategies and more tips. So promotion. So in order for your child to be promoted from 3rd grade to 4th grade, the district must ensure that one of these following criteria is met before they can be promoted to 4th grade. So they have to have a reading score that is less than 1 grade level behind on the grade 3 ELA M-STEP assessment, or they have to be able to demonstrate a grade 3 reading level on another test approved by the superintendent of public instruction, or They have to demonstrate a grade 3 reading level through a portfolio or collection of student work in all grade 3 ELA standards. So you'll notice that the words may be required is going to be italicized, and you'll see that on this page here. So they may be required. So with this retention law, children who are determined to be 1 or more years behind, based on that spring ELA M-STEP score, may be required to repeat 3rd grade. And the reason why that's italicized is because students are flagged. So if they don't meet that criteria that is given to us by the state of Michigan on the M-STEP, the ELA M-STEP score in the spring, if they don't meet that criteria, then they are flagged, and you'll receive a letter from the state of Michigan and from the school district as well, and may be required to repeat 3rd grade because it's not something that is automatic. So if you do receive a letter saying that your child may be retained, you should contact the school immediately and discuss this in further detail. Now, as a parent, you do have the right to ask for a good cause exemption with the school or district within 30 days once you're notified. So I do want to point out a very important piece of information here. If you do choose to request a good cause exemption, this is something that has to be done in writing. It cannot be a phone call. It cannot be stopping in the office and chatting with someone. It does have to be placed in writing and provided to the district within 30 days of you receiving that information that your child has been flagged for retention. You also have the right to request a meeting with school officials. So good cause exemptions. So are there any exceptions? Yes. So considerations may be made if your child has an IEP or a 504 plan, if your child is an English language learner, if your child has had intensive intervention for 2 years and was previously retained, if your child has been enrolled in the current district for less than 2 years and did not receive an IRIP in their previous school district. Another exception is if your child is at grade level in all other subjects besides ELA. And another exception is if it's in the best interest of the student and the request has been made within that 30-day time period. If a good cause exemption request is made in writing within that 30 days of receiving that information in the letter from the state saying that your child has been flagged for retention, the district superintendent will make a decision and notify parents in writing, and the decision will be shared with you at least 30 days before the next school year begins. And one thing you should keep in mind is that the decision made will be final. So are there other ways to be promoted? So if your child is proficient on the math portion of the state summative assessment, which is the M-STEP, and in addition to that, they also have proficiency in science and social studies as demonstrated through a student portfolio and determined by the teacher that the provided instruction in grade 3 science and social studies. So those two criteria have to be met. So what do you need to know? If your child is identified as needing additional support in reading, the school is going to provide your child with an IRIP. If your child has an IRIP, the extra supports in your child's reading improvement plan will occur during the school day. Now, part of your child's reading support must include a read at home plan, and that's the page I showed you where it'll include strategies and tips that you can use at home. And this plan is also going to include training or tips on how to work with your child. And just a reminder, your child must participate in extended learning opportunities, whether those are provided before school or after school. So what can you do to support your child? Read at home daily with your child, even in the summer. So if your child is a reader, they can read to you. But if your child is still learning how to read, there's other things you can do, such as listen to your child read, but you can also echo read. So if your child is not a reader quite yet, you can read a line, then have them repeat it. You can also practice choral reading, which is the two of you reading together at the same time. And it's also okay to reread or retell favorite stories. So even though if you may be tired of hearing a book that your child loves, it's really important that your child has that interest. And if they're motivated to read it, you should allow your child to reread or retell favorite stories as often as they'd like. Now, as you read families, you'll want to do things such as ask your child to share what they remember, ask them questions about the story, talk about the pictures in the book, maybe how they connect to the words. Help your child to make connections to to the story that they're reading and to their life. So you can also, to support your child at home, you can talk with your child often. Knowing more words is going to help your children to better understand the words that they read. You want to encourage them to write. And if your child is a writer, that's wonderful. But if your child is just learning how to write, it's really important that you allow your student to write the sounds that they hear. Spelling and writing is a developmental process and is always a work in progress. And the most important thing, families, is you want to stay involved. Participate in your child's education and support the Read at Home plan if your child has one. Communicate with your child's teacher often. Request strategies to use at home if you need additional ideas. And participate in school literacy make and take workshops. Did you know? Now, here's some startling data that I thought was really important to share. And we won't go through all of them, but I do want to show you that students who are over here, this is 4 times. So students who are not proficient readers by 3rd grade, by the end of 3rd grade, are 4 times more likely to drop out of high school. This one over here in Michigan, less than 1/2 of 3rd graders are not proficient on the 3rd grade state ELA assessment, which is the M-STEP. 30 million. So children from professional families have heard 30 million more words by the time they are 3 years old than those from families in poverty. So that's why it's so important to have conversations with our students, with our children. 85 to 90% of poor readers, for 85 to 95% of poor readers, intervention and support programs implemented before 3rd grade can increase reading skills to average grade levels. And that really drives home the message about why it's so important for our kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade families to start early. You don't want to wait until your child is in 3rd grade to help them with any type of reading deficiencies they might have. And the bottom, 85%. Children spend 15% of their lives from age 5 to 16 in school and 85% with families, parents, and communities. So it's really important that families are working in partnership with schools to support and promote reading at home. And then you might be wondering, well, why does my child have to read for 20 minutes at home every day? They read during school day, they read at school. Well, here's some data that really drives home the message about why it's important to read 20 minutes at home every day. For example, the student in red, this is student A. This child who reads 20 minutes per day at home will have 36 minutes per school year, will have covered 1,800,000 words per year, and score in the 90th percentile on standardized test. Child B in yellow, who reads for 5 minutes a day at home, which totals 900 minutes per school year, has covered only 282,000 words per year and scores in the 50th percentile on standardized tests. Compared to child C, who reads only 1 minute per day at home, which totals 180 minutes per school year, who's only covered 8,000 words per year and scores in the 10th percentile on standardized test. So reading at home is very, very important. Having conversations with your children is very important. And we in River Rouge School District are committed to helping you to create motivated and successful readers. If there are some things that we can do, if you need ideas, if you need tips, if you need materials, please reach out to your child's teacher or your child's principal. In addition, you can also reach out to me by email, and I would be happy to support. So this informational session again was to just provide you with an overview about the third grade reading law. Now again, although the third grade reading law would only impact your third grader who would be going into fourth grade with the possibility of retention, it's so very important that our kindergarten, first and second grade families are getting started early in those grade levels so that by the time your child reaches third grade, they are reading on grade level or above grade level. Thank you so much for joining me today, families. I look forward to meeting you and supporting you throughout the school year. And please do not hesitate to reach out to your child's teacher, your child's principal, or myself with any questions you might have or with any support you might need. Thank you and have a wonderful day.